So I just recorded the video looking at the top 25 players in value for the Detroit Lions, and recently, as you guys know, we have been dealing with a lot of technical difficulties. So with that being said, you guys will not actually be seeing my screen because it's just not working right now. But you guys will hear me talk about it. I'll put some pictures up just like usual. I will keep it very interesting for you guys. But at times I'm going to be looking down because I'm looking at my computer. You guys just don't realize that. I'm going to try to put some pictures in here just to keep you guys up to date what I'm talking about. But there's not a lot to be seen. It's just pictures of the players. So with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video still. Let me hear your thoughts and comments below. Thank you guys for clicking on this video, and I'll see you in the next one. I've been actually reacting to a lot of things recently, and you guys have seemed to really enjoy those. So I thought let's bring it back with this new list, and these are the top 25 Detroit Lions in value for 2019, excuse me. So these are like the players that are very valuable to the Detroit Lions, according here to Justin Rogers. He talks about the Detroit Lions a lot with the Detroit News. So let's get right into this. I'm super excited to see this list because this is actually a list that I haven't clicked on at all, because usually I kind of scroll through and I'm like, oh, I kind of know what's going to come, and that's super unfortunate. This one, I literally just clicked it. I haven't even made sure that it was good or whatever. It looks like it's a slideshow here, so I don't love slideshows, but they work. They'll get the job done. So let's get right into this. I'm assuming it goes 1 to 25 by seeing who the first one is. Okay, we got like a little pop-up here. Oh, we're gonna have to wait for it to load. Okay, so I think number 1 on his list is Kerryon Johnson. Yes, so he's ranking Kerryon Johnson the most important player for the Detroit Lions going into 2019. It makes sense. With the new offense, I could see why a lot of people would say this. I completely understand this one. Number 2, Matthew Stafford. Okay, so the words here are a little backwards. Like this one's supposed to be, yeah. So Kerryon Johnson, they talk about Kerryon Johnson here. Matthew Stafford comes in at number 2. Not a big surprise either. We knew he would be very high on the list. He's always going to be very high on the list. For most NFL teams, their quarterback should be high on the list, because if it's not, it's probably not a good thing. Your quarterback should probably be high on the list. And for Matthew Stafford, he has been high on the list every single year, and I'm not surprised that he's all the way up here. You can make a case for him being number 1, but he's easily going to be one of the most important players for the Detroit Lions to either find success, or if they're going to fail, it's going to be on Matthew Stafford's shoulders for sure. Next up, we have Snacks Harrison, and I'm glad that they put him this high on the list. I'm glad that Snacks Harrison is this high, because Snacks Harrison completely transformed our defense. He gets a lot of respect here, and I love to see that. And I also love to see this next one. I'm liking this list, man. The first 4, I got no problems. Darius Slay coming in at number 4, super important to our defense. I think he's very underrated at times. I'm super glad to see Darius Slay. I actually made a video talking about, Darius Slay's production. So if you guys have not seen that, make sure you guys go check it out. It was a more statistically based video. So if you guys like stats, you guys will like that video for sure. So Darius Slay comes in at number 4. Rounding out the top 5, we have nobody apparently, because, okay, there we go. So we have, Jarrad Davis. We have Jarrad Davis coming in here. I couldn't see his number or anything, but Jarrad Davis, super important. Again, he's like our cornerstone of our defense. Super important, playing that middle linebacker position, almost like a coach on the defense, on the field. I love this. Like the first top 5 so far, I'm loving this list, Justin Rogers. I'm liking what you're doing here. And next up, we have Frank Ragnow, and this one's kind of maybe a little different. Maybe I wouldn't think to put him this high. The Frank Ragnow, the young offensive lineman out of Arkansas, he's probably going to be moving positions for the Detroit Lions, which is actually kind of nice though, because the position that he's moving to, he was a lot better at in college. So I'm excited to see what that means for the Detroit Lions offensive line for sure. Next up, is this Trey Flowers? I believe that is Trey Flowers. Yes, it is. Okay, Trey Flowers coming up here. Number 7, Trey Flowers. I like it. I do like it. Now, you can make a case that this is too high because he's new, he might not have that big of an impact. But for how much we paid this man, he better have an impact. If he doesn't have an impact, that's a problem. We gave all this money to the wrong person. So, Trey Flowers coming in at number 7, you got to give them credit there. I like that one because our defense should be great. I like that they put Trey Flowers very high. Quandre Diggs, my guy, Quandre. I'm glad Quandre Diggs is this high. I was not expecting this at all. I can't. Like, I have no problems with this list at all at this point. Quandre Diggs, super important. Definitely our number 1 safety. Going to have to take over an even bigger role in 2019 without Glover Quinn. So, yeah, he's going to take a big role, but he's been getting better every single season. 6 interceptions in the past 2 years. I really like Quandre Diggs. He's doing his thing. Next up, Kenny Golladay. Okay, so maybe you think, okay, he fell down this list a little bit too far. I think you can make that case. I would say if the Detroit Lions didn't have Marvin Jones Jr., like when they were without Marvin Jones Jr. last year because he got hurt, you can make a case Kenny Golladay should be number 1. But if they have the other wide receivers and they have some other weapons and they can run the ball, they should be okay. The problem was when you can't run the ball and then you lose your other top wide receiver, now you're relying on just Kenny Golladay. Yeah, he was super important to our offense. So far, so good. Next here we have Graham Glasgow. I like Graham Glasgow. I like this too. Okay, looks like the words are finally caught up. Glasgow out of Michigan. I like this. He's maybe moving his position as well from the center to a guard position. But he's done that before. He's a solid offensive lineman. He's very versatile. It's going to be important what this offensive line can do as a whole for sure. So I like seeing these two offensive linemen on here throughout the top 10. Next up we have arrow work. A'Shawn Robinson. Okay, not expecting A'Shawn to be this high. I don't know who else I was really expecting. I didn't think A'Shawn would be this high, but I like it. Okay, you don't really think about A'Shawn a lot. I think he gets kind of like swept under the rug when you think about Snacks Harrison. You don't think about A'Shawn. I like to see that on here. The young man out of Alabama. Next up, we have Taylor Decker, another offensive lineman. 3 in the top 12. Not surprised our offensive linemen are all getting up here though. I like how they're doing this list. Next up, Deshaun Hand, another really good one here. The young player, we actually did a breakdown on Deshaun Hand. If you guys have not checked it out, definitely go check it out. It's a pretty cool video. We talked about his untapped potential. So yeah, definitely go check that out. That's a catchy title. But Deshaun Hand was outstanding last season, kind of just surprised everybody. You know, we're expecting a lot of great things out of Hand as well, especially with a good surrounding cast. Next up, T.J. Hockenson. Coming at number 14, maybe I'm a little surprised we haven't seen a tight end yet because Darrell Bevel and his tight ends, you know, we talk about that all the time, but I like it. T.J. Hockenson comes in here on number 14. He's still in the top 15, so it's not like he's far down the list. But he's also a rookie, so you don't want to put like too much weight on his shoulders. I like this list so far. 15, Devon Kennard, maybe a little sleeper here at the linebacker position. Kennard is a very important player for the Detroit Lions linebacking core. Next up, we have Rick Wagner, another offensive lineman here. Is that 5? I don't know. I think that's 4 or 5 offensive linemen. Again, I love this. Going through the offensive linemen is great. I like how he's shouting out the offensive linemen, saying they're super important because they definitely are. Justin Coleman, that's huge. That is absolutely huge. Justin Coleman is going to be gigantic for the Detroit Lions. He has to fill out that slot cornerback position. That is a position of need. That's what he was brought in to do. We are hoping that he has that figured out and he's going to take that over and there's going to be no problems. Hopefully he can do that. He needs to be big for 2019 because there's a lot riding on this man. This is the reason we paid him $36 million. Tracy Walker, I like that. Quandre Diggs, Tracy Walker, nice little 1-2 punch. We also have a lot of depth there. Tracy Walker going to take a little bit bigger role on. Okay, no more Glover Quinn. Now you got to, you know, kind of step out. Shows what you can do. I like that. Next up here we have Marvin Jones Jr. We had Kenny Galladay a little bit early on this list, so I understand why Marvin Jones is on here. Very important to have both of these wide receivers playing well. As we know, just one wide receiver, yeah, he might have some nice stats, but you're usually not going to result in wins. You need to have a couple of wide receivers, usually. So with that being said, I like Marvin Jones Jr. on this list. Next up, Romeo Okwara. And I actually saw some stuff saying that he may be a one-year wonder. I don't believe that at all. This man we brought over from the Giants. It was an absolute steal. We did our thing. Matt Patricia did his thing with Romeo Okwara to make him great. I love this. I love this list. I'm not mad about this at all. This might be something that I'm actually happy about reacting to. Kenny Wiggins, very good. I'm so glad Kenny Wiggins is on here. I wasn't sure if he was going to come, and I'm glad he did. Fill out that offensive line. Another guard, very important, especially, you know, that right guard or left guard position, whatever is up for grabs. Number 2, cornerback. Okay, so he's saying it's too early to tell. So it's either going to be Rashawn Melvin, Tease Tabor, Michael Ford, Amani. We don't know. But yes, he is very right. Number 2 cornerback, super important. You could actually put that higher on the list for sure. I guess I would say Rashawn Melvin because that's who we put in the picture. So, but you can throw in all of them there. Danny Amendola, very important. He's a safety blanket, so I expect he's going to put up good numbers. Like, that's not someone I'm worried about at all. I'm not worried about Danny Amendola doing his thing in 2019. Jesse James here, going to be big. We paid you a lot of money. You're kind of that 1-2 punch with T.J. Hockenson. We're expecting a lot out of you from Pittsburgh. I think he will definitely deliver as a 6'7" tight end. And then finally, they ended off C.J. Anderson. Now, I wasn't really expecting that, but I do like it. I like C.J. Anderson on this list. Good with Kerryon Johnson. He's going to be huge. Okay, we tried to rely on LeGarrette Blount a lot this season. Didn't really work out. We're expecting some better things, I would say, out of C.J. Anderson. Hopefully, he can bring that to Detroit Lions. But anyways, those are the top 25 most important Detroit Lions for 2019. Or how does he word it? Let me word it the right way. Let me phrase it right. Justin Rogers ranks the top 25 Detroit Lions in value for 2019. I love the list, Justin Rogers. You did your thing here. Let me hear your thoughts and comments below. Thank you, Pride, for watching, and I'm out.